Hello and welcome to the BS Podcast, where we scour the internet to find the most absurd, ridiculous, and bullshittiest stories over the last few days. Hi, I'm Dave, and joining me is my fellow connoisseur in bullshit, Mr. Zach. Zach, how you doing today, buddy?
Not great, my man. How have you been?
What's wrong now?
Well, I was up all night watching my Ravens shit the bed and embarrass themselves on Monday Night Football. So,
It's gonna crack. It's gonna crack.
So yeah. Hair of the dog. I mean, it's I gotta drown this out, man. We completely embarrassed ourselves on Monday Night Football. So
yeah, well, I mean, the Chiefs are a tough opponent. And now, how about this? What degree would you say the lack of fans hurt the team? Because Baltimore normally has a really
I'm not going to make excuses, but I've said this before. They do call it the 12th man for a reason. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier for the. It definitely takes away some of the sting that you would get on the visiting teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Crowd noise is a real thing. But I want that Patrick Mahomes. I want him drug tested. I want him drug tested. If Trump can call for Sleepy Joe to get drug tested before the debate tonight, I want Patrick Mahomes drug tested because he's a freak of nature.
Oh, I know. I mean, there's something going on with him. I don't know if they hit on something maybe recently with finding guys who are also like potentially Major League Baseball pitchers or players that we found. Wow, this guy can actually throw a football. The guy's like otherworldly, right? I mean, with the way he can just find people. It seems so freaking easy too.
Maybe he's an android.
I really don't.
Maybe he's got like circuits.
I mean, at this point, he's almost like, it's only been, 2-3 years of him playing, but he's looking like he could be like the best QB ever.
Yeah.
And you guys have a good one yourself in Jackson.
Yeah, not last night.
Well, you did make it a game there going in. You cut it to one score.
Yeah. But.
Well, I am sorry. And by the way, because you usually are one of the 12th men out there, how would a normal Tuesday morning be going for you if you were in the stands?
Oh, after Monday Night Football? Yeah. Yeah, it would have been a rough morning.
So we took care of your personal BS. On my end, I'm doing fine. Got no complaints. Just happy as a clam here.
Yeah.
All right, great. So we count down we've picked the top 5 BS stories over the last few days. We have our patented BS-ometer. So after each story, we will score that, and a score of 1 to 10, we tally that up, and at the end we rank them. Right, Zach?
That's right.
Now, do you have any, without giving anything away, do you think you have an early favorite in mind?
Oh, yeah. This first one's a good one for me, actually. It might be the highest ranking one I have.
All right, so let's get into it then. And by the way, you reminded me that the last 4 weeks, my opening score was what?
A 6.
A 6. To the last 4 episodes. I let up with a 6. So I've now banned 6, at least for the first one. I'll be sure to pick something else. I don't know, something going on in my subconscious trying to this is pretty good, but I don't want to rank it too high, but I'm not too low. I don't know. So I'm going to throw all that aside, and then I will try to score this a little bit better. So let's kick off with that first story, Zach. This comes out of Texas. Governor Greg Abbott declared a state of disaster in a Texas county after a deadly brain-eating amoeba was detected in his water supply and tied to the death of a 6-year-old boy this month. Residents of Lake Jackson were advised to boil their water before using after there's a scientific word for this brain-eating Naegleria fowleri. Are you familiar with that strain?
We talked about it a few months ago, and prior to that, no, I was not familiar with it.
now you got that one in your
yeah.
You got that one tallied up.
I was thinking about this. It seems like these amoebas, are getting worse as time goes on. Is there some kind of crazy evolution of parasites that because I don't remember hearing about any of this prior to a few years ago.
No, me either. So now we need a new war on Amoeba.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll bring that up during maybe the presidential debate, maybe this one coming up, or maybe it's in the next
I
one.
don't know. It's not sexy enough.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not sexy enough because who's going to sit there and say brain-eating amoeba doesn't? The fight between COVID on both sides. Who's going to sit there and say that brain-eating amoeba isn't something you need to worry about, right?
Yeah, maybe they'll call it fake news.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
But it's absolutely bullshit. And this is actually
100%.
in the Houston area. So a previous warning extended to other cities in this county not to use water at all, but that was lifted only for them to say we haven't really gotten rid of this thing. So you have to boil your water. And it's a, quote, imminent threat to public health and safety, including loss of life. Now, my question is, I mean, how often do you? I mean, I follow the news, but I don't follow local county news all that often. What if you just get up one morning and you turn on the tap and you have a glass of water?
Yeah.
I mean, my guess is maybe this thing is even small enough to go through a filter or something like that. You just ingested a whole bunch of brain-eating amoeba, and I check my phone at 11 o'clock in the morning or something, just whatever for news, and it says, there's a boil water notice.
God, your tap water. I mean, it's kind of common sense, if you get sitting water in lakes and things like that, which is where these things live big time, like in the southern states, because you get sitting bodies of water. You can go to a sitting body of water, especially some of them, and you can smell it and just be like, that is some nasty water. There's some shit in that. But your tap water, oh man, you can't get away from it. That's supposed to be the safe water. You know what I mean? And I was reading the article and it says you apparently can't get it from ingesting it. If there's the brainy amoeba in the tap water and you just drink it, apparently it doesn't do anything. You can't. It has to go up your nose. But I think that's bullshit. Are you really going to risk it? I can't get it from ingesting it, so you drink it. I must be fine. No, that's just ugh.
No, and if you're anything like me, sometimes I have a glass of water. I don't know if I have got a mental problem or not, but sometimes I get some trailing down my chin, or it'll splash. I mean, it's actually not. It's very likely actually that a single water droplet might actually splash back up into your nose or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, how many times? It's like a joke. How many times have you? Someone said something funny while you were drinking and you get soda or water up your nose or something like that. You know what I mean?
So far I've been able to successfully drink my coffee. So no dribbling, but yeah, I mean, you got a spit take and suddenly you got brain eating amoeba.
Yeah. And this is how the real zombie apocalypse starts. You know what I mean? It's going to it already eats brains, right? That's what zombies do. They eat your brains.
Yeah.
And this is a brain, it's just a zombie virus. So
this is the new thing. Yeah.
That's all it needs to do is mutate into the form where it takes over a human host and you become the amoeba.
And then, the amoeba, the amoeba is hungry for brain.
Yeah.
So then it just points you at brains and you go and you eat them.
Yeah.
Now, this is also, by the way, this is not just in Texas. There's a story from out of the Daily Star, out of the UK. A gardener's brain turned to liquid by flesh-eating killer pot plant bug. So same idea here. And let's take a look at what this thing does let's take a look at what this thing does inside your head. See that? I mean, the normal one on the left, which I guess they spotted the infection, and then that literally just turns to mush, Zach.
Ugh.
That's disgusting. And then look at this.
Oof.
This is some flesh eating. I don't know some kind of netting they put on. I mean, could you imagine waking up in the morning and taking a look at that?
Ugh.
God. Now, this one is just on the subject. This one, after eating a flesh-eating bug he caught from a cut on his big toe. He was told his chance was 1 in 4 of surviving the bug when he contracted from a small cut on his toe. 36-year-old from Cork. His best case, he'd lose his leg. I mean, I think, Zach, I think we all have plenty enough to worry about instead of this nonsense.
Oh, yeah. Now, there was a flesh-eating bacteria in the water near my house where we live at one point.
Really?
Yeah, they're in the bay near the ocean. There was a lot of warnings and things about it. It wasn't pandemic-ish, but it was kind of like if you go swimming and you have open cuts, like you need to be careful because you might get the flesh-eating like bacteria. And I remember like we were swimming in the water or whatever. We got in, we're like, all right, make sure nobody has any cuts on them. So we was okay, we're fine. So we went swimming. And like my dog was like swimming with us and it like jumped on my dad's back and like its claws just like made this gigantic cut all down my dad's back, like while we were in the water. And we looked at him, we're like, well, sorry, Pop, but you know, you got to get
I hope that brief swim was worth the risk.
Yeah, it was. He didn't get it, but still, it was kind of like everyone was like, "Great,
good." Well, I mean, even in like, was this in the summertime?
Yeah, it was like 2 summers ago.
Yeah, so even then, like, it's not that anyone's walking around with like huge gashes in their leg or anything like that. But a mosquito bite, I mean, does that count as a cut? I mean, you've got little. I mean, if you're out there in the summer and you're getting bit by mosquitoes, you're scratching. I mean, your skin's open a little bit. I don't know. That's that's a pretty high standard. So thankfully, he didn't get the flesh eating.
Yeah.
Now, this causes symptoms similar to bacterial meningitis, including headaches, fever, nausea, vomiting, making initial diagnosis challenging. The infection progresses rapidly, eventually causing neck stiffness, seizures, hallucinations, and then coma. Well, nice knowing you, Bob.
Yeah.
Or Frank or Jim, whatever. I mean, goodness. I mean, I'm with you. I expect my drinking water to be 100% safe 100% of the time, unless there's some like big natural disaster or something. Other than that, this is just kick up the chlorine a little bit or something. All right. So, you ready to give a rating on this one?
Yeah, I am.
All right, you go ahead.
I'm going 8.
Yeah, I got 8 too. So 8 and 8. I just don't want to have to worry about this.
It's a human right, man. It's like we need access to clean drinking water. Like that's like what literally sets us apart from like third world countries. Like when you see people having to walk miles to go to a well, that's still not even clean. You know what I mean? Like that's.
I agree. Number 1, it should actually be in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, clean drinking water.
Clean drinking water. Before freedom of speech, before. Or anything before or amendments or anything like that, but it should be at the very top.
Yeah.
That is a basic human thing. Oh man! All right, so let's move into story number 2. Zach, this one comes out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A husband who'd been drinking, had weapons, and may have threatened suicide. A wife with cuts and bruises who fled the house. An urgent call to police who responded with SWAT team members and a forced takedown when the man emerged from the couple's waterfront estate in Fort Lauderdale. Who are they talking about? Ex-Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale, Zach. Wow, what a doozy of this story. This took up domestic disturbance a couple of notches, didn't it?
It 100% did, yeah.
Now, this comes out of this is the Sun Sentinel. We've got some video here. Basically, there was some argument between Brad Parscale and his wife, and apparently she left the house during that argument. There was a realtor next door who was showing the house. She asked the realtor for help. The realtor called the cops. They showed up, and she said she thought maybe Brad Parscale was going to shoot himself. And then let's take a look at the video to see what unfolded.
Crazy. So I went outside to the backyard to let him just like chill out. And he was just like going irate. And he like came out of his office, cocked a gun, went back and was like, okay, this is up. So I went to the front yard.
Yep. Okay.
And then I saw him like, I was sitting in the front yard, I'm just trying to like, give him space, chill out.
Hello, Brad. How you doing, sir? Hey, I got him on.
That's his wife there.
Hey, Brad. How you doing? This is Officer Skaggs at the Fort Lauderdale Police Department.
Oh my God.
You okay?
Hey, how you doing?
You okay in there? Okay. All right. Can you do us a favor? Can you walk out with no weapons?
Walk out with no weapons.
Can you come outside with no weapons, please?
Okay, we're waiting for 25 with this subject.
All right, so let's pause here.
God,
so
I wish
heard
we
her
could
story.
hear. Yeah, I wish we could hear what he was saying to him.
Oh, yeah, Brad. Yeah, we don't hear his response.
I wish we could. Yeah.
Because okay, good. Let's hold on to that thought, because that's her story. Is he comes out of the bathroom or wherever, and he's got a gun cocked, and she doesn't know if he's going to hurt himself or hurt her, and she's in it looks like she was in the pool or maybe sunbathing or something, because she's scantily clad with a white towel around her. What's the laugh?
It's very polite of you. Polite way to put it.
She's looking really hot, Zach.
Yeah.
And then, so the cops all show up and they said, "Brad, come on, maybe come out without any weapons." Okay, all right. So let's continue.
Sir, can you just come step out of the house?
Like, went back inside, came back out of his office, like, cocked his handgun,
Handgun?
and went back inside.
You got a lot of guns in the house?
I think we had like 4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5.
Yeah. And so,
Handguns, like rifles like that, or a lot of handguns?
he has a shotgun, he has a rifle, he has a Glock.
She's like he's got a whole arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of his millions. Okay, let's go.
And so after he did that, I was like, okay, he just needs to he's really getting out of control. So I went to the front yard, and I was just sitting in the front yard, just like trying to chill out for a second. And so then I saw him like open the blinds.
By the way, those aren't real, are they?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Okay. If you're watching, please comment down below.
In the front yard. And then he closed them, and then I heard what I thought was a gunshot.
All right, here's Brad coming out.
He said I left my gun in there.
Okay, come out here. That's fine.
I'm your friend.
All right, relax.
What's up? Okay.
What's going on?
All right, hang on. So
He said I left my gun, but I brought my beer.
I got my beer. I got to keep this buzz going. I mean,
Yeah. He's a monster, dude. Look how big he is.
He's taller than that giant Ford truck.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, does he look like a campaign manager?
No.
He looks like he's in some
On vacation, maybe.
What's that?
On vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say he looks like he should be cast in the show Vikings or something.
Yeah.
And by the way, it looks like there's a dog or two inside.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he comes out saying, "I'm your friend." And what the context is there, I believe in the story that officer who called him actually knows him personally. So I think they are actually friends. So yeah, he comes out without a gun, but a beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stay in the shade. Okay, don't do this. I'm not doing anything. Relax. What happened?
So, she started saying all
Hey, get on the ground, man. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground, man.
Look at this.
That's a nice takedown.
Get on the ground. What did I say? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Wow.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Hey, bud. Hey, we'll figure it all out, all right? Don't worry about it.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
We're going to get you off the ground in just a second, okay?
Holy crap. So there's a lot going on in this, Zach, isn't
Lot
there?
going on. This is like the BS onion, man. There's so much layers.
Peeling the layers back.
Oh yeah.
So those guys, I mean, where were those guys? They just come out, appear out of nowhere. A good half a dozen cops, right? All heavily armed.
Yeah, and they came out from where he walked, and from the path that he walked, they were hiding in the bushes or some shit, or you know what I mean? And he just walked right past them.
Now, thankfully, for Brad Parscale's sake, he did everything correct. There was no resisting. He had his arms spread because this could have turned really really quick.
That could have turned really ugly really quick on multiple levels. He's a guy that, first of all, one of the layers of bullshit is that I think gun control lobbyists and gun control advocacy groups are going to have a field day with any kind of stories relating with the use of guns in this way, right? A guy that's obviously he's inebriated in some point. He's carrying a beer around. He's drunk. He seems fucked up. And his wife was saying they were in an argument. So he just went in his room and came out and cocked his gun and all this other shit. Gun advocacy groups are going to have a field day with stories like this because guns aren't meant so that we can get fucked up and wave them around and shit when we're angry, right? That's not the point of guns.
And of course his history as being a Trump campaign manager who they support Second Amendment, all that stuff. It makes it look like these are the people. This is your bad example of a person, and so I see that too. However, we're going on, and I don't know his wife. We don't know what happened inside that house. But the cops are going by everything she says.
Yeah.
and we didn't see any of that.
We did not.
And so, that immediate takedown and all that, it really could have turned really, really bad. I mean, well, first of all, I think, you and I were talking about this earlier before we got on the show. If he had walked out with a gun, I'd say there's about a good 90% chance he would have been dead.
100%. Yeah, he would have. 100%. Yeah, especially with all those cops. I mean, when you got a woman that's already, apparently, according to the story, is a woman that already has cuts and bruises on her.
Yeah.
So it's some kind of domestic abuse, some kind of domestic dispute going on. I think, people are going to be claiming, he's mentally ill, and he, went to, I think he went to mental, to get evaluated, right? For 72 hours. I didn't hear what the evaluation ended up
exactly
being.
Here in Florida, if you get arrested for something like this, they put you in non-voluntary psych ward for 3 days. Yeah. So I guess at time of recording, he may still be there.
Yeah. And that's the thing with him waving around the gun. A lot of people are going to say, if they show accounts of mental illness or PTSD and he didn't know what he was doing waving around his gun, things like that. I'm like, it still doesn't excuse the behavior. You know what I mean?
No.
Nicholas Cruz might have had mental illness, but he still shot 17 people in Parkland High School.
Mental illness doesn't excuse it.
No, it does. That's what I mean. If Brad would have came out of there with that gun, alleged gun, we don't know that he had a gun. If he would have had a gun and came out of there with a gun and shot people, that could have turned really bad. The police would have shot him. He would have shot people. I don't know. So luckily, he did not bring a gun outside.
I guess you could play devil's advocate. And we don't know what this hasn't been updated with any charges yet. I would assume there'd be a minimum. Assuming his guns were all legally owned, I don't think there'd be a problem there. But of course, if he was roughing up his wife, then there should be something for that. But maybe just devil's advocate that maybe this whole thing worked out the way it should have been, because we had basically the cops kept their cool. And certainly, and Brad Parscale, thankfully, he did all the right things. He walked out calmly. Yes, he had a beer, but he didn't go out there with his gun, and he didn't resist arrest, and it ended. But this is really hairy, it was really weird the way they just sort of they lured him out there. They used that one. I don't know, the way it was treated was I don't know. Maybe it's all true. I don't know. Maybe that was the appropriate response, but it did seem like they kind of set him up and just took him down and then locked him in a mental hospital. We don't know. Maybe we're just better to be safe than sorry.
Dude, yeah, I don't have any problem with the way that they handled it. There's a lot of tension. They're trying to de-escalate it in any way possible.
These situations, Zach, they're very touch and go. I mean, we happened to just witness one that sort of worked out. I don't think they were giving him any preferential treatment. I mean, they flat out lured him outside with a friend of his and tackled him to the ground and sent him away. And if he had done anything other than, I'm referring to Brad Parscale, if he had acted in any different way than the way he acted, he has a very good, high likelihood of death. And this is a guy who's, I don't know, call him famous, a famous guy, a wealthy guy, a guy who, at least up until the last couple of months, had a fair amount of power in the political world. And he would have been shot like a dog, like anybody else we had seen if he had had a different reaction to him getting tackled blindsided and tackled. I don't even think he even saw that cop coming behind him.
He 100% did. That cop had good tackle for him too.
It was a good form tackle.
100%. And I mean, he had to. That guy, he's 6'8", man. That dude's huge, man. What else are they going to do?
Yeah, I would say because I said, he looks like a Viking basically. I mean, if he got angry and started swinging around, he could probably keep 2 or 3 cops off of him. And then you see the taser, and then you see the guns coming out, and then shots ring, and someone ends up dead. So
yeah,
it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world we live in, Zach. What's the moral of the story? How about don't hurt your wife.
Yeah.
And don't walk around with a loaded gun in your house, right? Either during, before, or after you've hurt your wife. And so I think that it is sad, and I hope. We don't know what's going to come of this, but I hope if it is something like PTSD, or he really was threatening to kill himself, then hopefully he can straighten himself out.
Yeah, and if the cops show up at your house, leave your loaded gun inside.
Yes.
And hopefully you will only be tackled to the ground and nothing more.
That's true. Even if you did things far worse, if you want to live, do not walk outside.
Yeah.
Do not walk outside with your weapon. So Trump fired him or demoted him because he was in the 2016. He was campaign manager, I believe, was elevated in 2020. But he was, believe it or not, this guy's a super analytical guy. He's the one who helped build the database and all the, where they get it's sort of like a big data voter targeting thing. He was the architect of all that.
Really?
In 2016. And then Trump demoted him from campaign manager to like senior advisor. I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. I think when the polls really showed Biden ahead. And I wonder to the extent that if he was having problems before and that was really the real reason for his demotion, or if the demotion kind of had him spiral out of control. Any thoughts on that?
No.
Well, all right,
yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea who he was before this story came out, honestly.
Yeah, I only know of his name from just seeing that. There was a big story that came out a couple of years ago about how he was, how he put together this really super targeted voter database. Interesting. So, all right, I'm gonna give a rating on this. I'm gonna go 6 on this. The dreaded 6. What do you got?
I was going to go 5.
5, yeah. So that makes 11. So far we got brain-eating amoeba in the lead. Let's move on to story number 3, Zach. Woman's demonic meltdown on Detroit flight gets compared to The Exorcist as she climbs the cabin while swearing profusely. This was a flight to Michigan, and let's just show the video. Look at that bomb lady just sitting there on her phone.
Did she say we're going to fuck all night?
I like how the flight attendant is still trying to speak calmly and rationally. Oh my God.
Who are these guys that come together?
I don't know.
Because they're just in plain clothes. Are they just like other people on the flight that are just like? Because I wouldn't go anywhere near. I would get as close to that window seat as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about zombies. I mean, this could be a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely crew members to me. Or, I'm sorry, passengers.
Trying to go home, bro.
She must have took from you.
Right back? Huh?
That's
Right back.
good, right there. I was just trying to block her.
Still screaming.
Have fun being on the no-fly list.
Oh no, keep on flying. Wait, we're not leaving, are we?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
You may not get a chance to purchase a ticket ever again to fly.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, man. I know everyone likes to have like a pre-flight like drink or whatever, but whatever she took went a little too far. It's like in Bridesmaids when Kristen Wiig had the scotch and the pills and was like out on the flight.
She was much more chill.
Yeah.
A little bit.
God, I'm getting on a flight in 2 days, and I'm praying to God something like this doesn't happen.
Oh man, where are you headed?
Florida, going down to your neck of the
over?
woods. Yeah.
Oh, was this your Disney trip? That
I'm going to see my family. I'm going to see my wife's sister. She lives in Jacksonville.
Oh, and we'll enjoy that. I've never been to Jacksonville, but enjoy that. I recommend if you can make the drive to St. Augustine, to definitely go there.
We are going to St. Augustine on Friday.
Excellent. You will love it. So this lady, I mean, we saw actually a week or two ago while we were preparing the show, because as I say, we scour the internet. one of the things that we saw was another tirade, a pre-flight tirade. And I wonder, with coronavirus and everything, people being generally just off mentally, and then no one wanted to fly. And then I wonder if there's just sort of maybe this is what I want to say. Maybe there's like a stress reaction to getting back on a plane kind of a thing. What do you think of that?
I don't know. The Queen of California from the Queen of California video. Yeah, she wasn't like this woman though. This woman's clearly on drugs or something. Where the Queen of California just didn't want to be told she couldn't go to the bathroom.
So are you gonna keep like one eye? I don't know if you sleep on the plane or not, but maybe keep one eye open.
I don't sleep on the plane. Yeah, I don't sleep on the plane for reasons like this, but also because I snore real loud and talk in my sleep, and I don't want to do something embarrassing.
Oh, that'd be great. We'd love to see. We could end up with a video of you. We could make that the subject of a BS podcast.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of flying? Because I'm
no, I'm not afraid of flying. It's a hassle. I just don't like doing it. Just because it's just yeah, exactly. It sucks being in an airport for how long. The plane is fine. I don't mind being on a plane, especially when I'm flying with someone I know, so I can sit next to them and not have to like do the awkward where like you're cramped in with someone you don't know and you're like, oh, fuck, got this weirdo sitting next to me. I really don't mind it. It's just I don't like being in an airport for so long, and everything else.
I'm always exhausted after getting off the plane.
It is. It's exhausting.
Do you? I saw in Southwest they have got they keep the middle seat open. I was thinking,
that's what I'm taking.
Make that. Oh, nice. Hope they keep that policy permanent. The middle seat.
Yeah, right.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Well, have a safe flight, Zach. Are you ready to? I don't know. I think this is BS, but sort of low level BS. Hopefully, it's just a one off and not become a pattern as we're getting on a plane. I'd like you to report back if you see any weird behavior at the airport or on the plane. So I'm gonna give this thing a 4. What do you got?
I'm going 3. Yeah, it just sucks. It sucks the most for the people on the flight that they have to deal with it.
Yeah, and who knows if that flight was delayed or canceled or something like that because of this nonsense. Let's move on to story number 4. Amazon unveils indoor security drone. That's a bit creepy. This story comes from InformedAmerican.com. There's this thing. It's I don't even know how to describe this thing. It's like a dock with a floating surveillance camera, Zach.
Yeah.
This thing is so strange. It's made by Amazon's Ring. It's a flying home camera that you can ask the fly to check the stove while you're out. It takes flight when it detects movement in the house to show what's going on. Amazon has unveiled this new line of Alexa-powered Echo smart speakers. We got a video here of this thing flying around. Now, by the way, if you're so the idea here is if like maybe somebody breaks into your house, it'll launch and then you can see them. I don't know. This thing is just really creepy. Let's take a look at the video. So we got our would-be criminal. And then
look at that thing.
Oh, no.
That guy said, what the fuck? And Turner.
Okay.
I love it.
You're going to get one?
I love it.
Oh.
I might. I don't know.
Now, I know home surveillance has become a bigger thing, and it has made the life of home invaders more difficult.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have a Ring doorbell.
Yeah. So this would connect to that, presumably, as well.
Well, I guess it has to hook to your security system somehow because they have to know if someone's breaking in, and then the drone picks up. Where I don't, so it's like I would have to redo my entire security system.
Yeah, well, you need to.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have I have a security system, but it's not like Ring. Would I have to redo all the security stuff in my house?
Yeah, it may be, unless it could somehow.
Which sucks.
Unless it could figure out somehow it can talk to one another. Yeah. Now, I mean, if you're a criminal, you might just. I mean, my reaction was, this thing is looking at me. I'm gonna kill it. No.
Yeah, let's just swat it down. But I guess once they already got you on camera.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you. Yeah, I mean, I wonder. Like, I haven't checked the statistics. Like, are home break-ins down because of this? I would hope they are. And these kinds of security systems, which are able to, which is basically unthinkable for anybody but the rich back in the day, or even just a couple of years ago. Really, now you can get these little cameras installed in your home fairly cheap, right?
Yeah, I think this whole thing just shows you how important like cybersecurity is.
Yeah.
Because these things don't strike me as being very secure as far as people being able to hack into them.
No. Now it does say that when the thing is shut, the camera is sort of inside. So when it's closed, it's not recording.
Yeah.
But so that means it's not recording all the time, which is, I guess, comforting. But the thing has got to now. Amazon has an entire layout of what's in your house. Does that?
No. So I don't worry about Amazon necessarily spying on me. I mean more of like someone hacking into it. Like if I'm laying in my bed or like I'm away or something like that, and like a criminal hacks into it, right, and slides it. So that like a criminal can like case my house or some shit while I'm asleep. You know what I mean? Like that's what worries me more. Maybe you're having a nice, have a glass of wine with your wife. Things are getting intimate, and you look over your shoulder, and then there's the big fly. It's some pervert that hacked my drone trying to get a peek. That's what I worry about. To me, this is creepy. I really don't think it's going to. I really don't think it's going to deter criminals. I mean, this criminal in this video, he's the most pathetic. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I would get it just like. Play with it and like chase my dog around the house or something while I'm at work. That could be fun. What do you think about the idea that if you want to check something like turning off the stove or something? That's awesome. Yeah, but then you need to have a smart stove because the drone can't turn it off for you. Well, yeah, but then I guess it's just peace of mind type deal, right? And then you can see him like, well, I know I got to drive home now, rather than like, shit, did I leave it on? You know what I mean? Then you got to drive home, and then you get in your house and you're like, well, shit, I didn't leave the stove on. So now I drove back for nothing. At least then you have, peace of mind. You can save yourself a car ride if you can. Oh, I like that with my garage, particularly my old house. For whatever reason, my old place, I don't know why, I never knew if I shut my garage door. I mean, almost every day, like you just couldn't remember. It was almost to the point where I gotta write it down. That would be helpful. I don't know. It doesn't fly outside, but maybe if I had something like that. Now, I mean, I guess so. So maybe it's safety. So you're a fan. I'm more skeptical of this. This says it's going to be about $250. I mean, that's not super expensive. No, that's not that much more than what the Ring doorbells cost. I'd much rather have a security drone than a security doorbell. Yeah, that's not bad. But it's 200 here, 250 there, and then you got to get the security system. And then if you, like I said, if you really did leave the stove on, now you need a smart stove. There's a good $2,000. Well, you can't put your price on security, Dave. So. No, you cannot. Even though they do. So I think this sounds like this might be lower level BS for you. I think it's BS. I don't like this creepiness. In fact, I even had I think we talked about this before. I don't, anything that's like voice activated, I have turned off. I've got my Roku, I Google Home Mini, my Wi-Fi mesh system can respond to voice commands. I got all of it turned off. I just don't like it. I don't know, it makes me feel really strange. But you seem like you've embraced it. I embrace technology. Well, I embrace technology with caveats. Yeah, I just don't like the listening in thing, and I guess there's really no way to avoid it. Another thing too, I don't think this stuff is really smart enough yet for it to be useful enough for me to switch over. Like most of the stuff I could just type in myself faster than, or just as fast as, asking my Google Assistant or Alexa in that case. Yeah, I get more excited thinking about like 15 years down the road, thinking about like like an implant in my eye where like I can like, I don't have to pull out my phone. Like all my shit can just be right on my lenses. Kind of like, I guess, remember when Google Glasses was like, that was going to be the future. Do you remember those? Yeah. Right? Whatever happened to that? That failed. Absolutely nothing, because no one wants to sit there and walk around with those stupid little glasses on your face because they look stupid. They're really obnoxious. Or just like being like boop and like a little hologram thing pops up and we're just like do. That's the kind of shit that I like thinking about like for the future. Yeah, I see. So I think I'm more with you on that point. We're just not there yet. I don't think. I mean, you can tell Alexa to turn off the light.
but sometimes she turns off the wrong light, or you got to say it 3 times.
Remember when the clapper was like the epiphany, like the pinnacle of like technology? Like, dude, all you have to do is go like, and your lights will turn off. That was like the craziest thing.
I mean, Alexa's just a voice commanded clapper.
Yeah. There is one really cool thing. This is really off topic, and I don't know if they still make it or not. But it was a light bulb that you plug in, and it connects to Wi-Fi, and it connected to your TV somehow.
Okay.
And it matched what you were watching on TV.
Oh yeah, that's the Philips Hue, I believe. I think they still make that.
Really? It was something where like, so if like you're watching a scene and it's like really dimly lit, they'll like the lights will lower. So it like matches the scene like that. That's wild. Yeah.
Or like if they're like on the ocean, it'll turn to like a blue, or if they're in a forest, it'll go green. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's very cool. So now see that's useful tech. But I think even that stuff to get a rig like that, it's not cheap.
Well,
I think the bulbs themselves are like, I don't know, a couple $100 or something.
Yeah. But I'm not saying I can afford it. I'm not saying I'm going to have it. I just like the idea of it.
That is cool. Because I have I put just a simple LED strip behind my TV with a remote. And I mean, I do the same thing manually, but it's not dynamic like that.
Yeah.
That's like a $15 thing versus like a $200 thing. All right. So you convinced me a little bit. This isn't quite as creepy as I don't know. I still think it's creepy. I just don't like it. It's just weird to see just a thing with a camera flying around in my house. I don't know if I'll ever get over that.
What about Roombas, Dave?
I don't have one, but those are cool. I think they would scare my animals too much. A Roomba would be cool. I wouldn't have a problem with a Roomba.
Yeah. What if they put a camera on a Roomba?
Well, what do they use? Well, was it use like a radar or something? Because it has to find a way to. Maybe there is a camera. I don't know. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. So it's just going to happen, isn't it? But my whole house is going to be under surveillance by somebody. Yeah.
It's going to be like in The Fifth Element. I don't know if you watched The Fifth Element before what's his name? Zorg. Gary Oldman. When Gary Oldman knocked the glass off his desk and it shattered and like 100 robots came out to like clean up the glass and like sweep everything up, like just from, they like automatically knew a glass broke. That
would be nice because I'm not the most tidy person in the world.
Yeah.
I could use some help with that. Just in the back of my mind, I'm always afraid they're just going to turn on me and kill me. But that's my cross to bear. All right. So I think this one falls to me. I'm going to give this thing a 7. I don't like a creepy thing flying. I don't know how it helps me be secure. Yeah. I don't think this thing is helpful at all. I think that's the problem. It's kind of cool that it flies around. I don't see this product there. So I think there's only just a downside for this particular product. What do you got?
I think those are valid points. And I think if I had to rank any kind of bullshit, that would be where it's from. But I'm still going to go low level on it. I think it's a 2.
Okay, there we go. So that's a 9. That puts it in 3rd place. So let's hit our final story, Zach. Zach, we love talking about we love judging people here on this show, Zach. So we got a chance to judge a couple of parents who put their 6-month-old son on to water skiing. We got a video of that. If I can pull that up. Stupid Daily Mail. Okay, here we go. Poor little guy. No, I gotta say, it's cute.
It is cute. Is his feet like strapped in?
Yeah, he's in there.
So what happens if it like flipped over and his feet are like strapped in? He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look like thrilled to be on the water ski.
No, I think that's a good point. Because we know. Okay, so who's happy here in this situation? It doesn't appear to be the baby. The parents are happy.
At 6 months old, the only thing that makes you happy is like food, getting a bottle, and like a block shape. You know what I mean? Right? There are some people on the internet really freaking out about this particular video. And like, I wouldn't go as far to call it child abuse, but I would definitely say it's a little irresponsible.
Oh, yeah. Now listen to this, because they say they got permission from their. Here's the thing. They said, we asked our pediatrician before we water skied. He said he was super impressed with how far along Rich is. Okay. By the way, he's cut.
I would like to meet that pediatrician because I bet he's exactly like Justin Long from Idiocracy. The doctor from that Idiocracy when Luke Wilson first wakes up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. That's probably who he is. It's completely, just ridiculous. And it says, I just love these parents. He's really well developed for his age. You know, parents like this where every their kid is a genius. I get tired of hearing about how smart your stupid kid is. He can't wipe his ass. How smart is he?
Yeah. I think, all right. So at 6 months old, how really developed are you as a human being? Right. You can't speak. You don't even crawl at 6 months, I don't think. Right. Or maybe crawl, but you definitely don't walk at 6 months.
No.
You don't even know who you are. You can't even think, right? You don't even have a conscience at that point. How can you know like what you like and what you don't like?
The kid doesn't even know what he's doing.
Yeah, there's this thing like where parents have this habit of like forcing their own likes and interests onto their kids and essentially like molding them to be like the type of person that they want to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where it's like they're setting this kid up, say like, you're going to water ski and that's what you're going to do and what you're going to like, because the kid can't tell him he doesn't like it. He's 6 years old, man, or months old. He's 6 months old.
And I'm thinking of that too. Like, I don't want to get into like, get into this whole rabbit hole of consent, but it's your responsibility. The kid can't tell you no, right?
Yeah.
And I think at some level, it's your responsibility to not put them in a really strange situation. Now, he's a cute kid. It is adorable to see, but some might say, this is these parents just trying to. Well, look, it worked because they ended up on international news, getting likes on.
Yeah, right.
Instagram or Facebook.
We always talk about Facebook and social media about how everyone wants to chase like the likes and chase the shares. Like how much of it them using their baby to like just get their fame going.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we rail against the TikTok teenagers on this show. We've done that a number of times, but these are 36 and 33 years old respectively. I mean, they're not. How much different are they? Just trying to draw attention to themselves and bringing this kid along. I mean, I can't help but look how cute he is. But.
Yeah. There's one comment on this Daily Mail page that says the people bitching probably have their kids in the house playing video games. You can't play video games at 6 months old, man.
No.
That doesn't make sense. That argument does not make sense.
Terrible comment there. Now, this one also says that they had two, let's see. We had a separate boat out there. This was their defense, and roughly 10 or 12 people involved in total, including a couple of doctors and a nurse on board the boat. This sounds, I don't know. I mean, is it really worth it that you need to bring on medical professionals?
Yeah. What's next? Are they going to make him start? Is he going to start doing stunts like Evel Knievel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's not clear how he's looking at this video, and we've got pictures here. To me, Zach, I'm not quite sure how he's secured here. I mean,
it looks like his feet are strapped in, and and they just got him like hold on to the thing, like don't let go of the thing.
Well, what if he lets go? He's 6 years old.
That's what I'm saying. His feet are strapped in, so he's going to like fall back, and I guess he's just going to like float because he's got that thing on. But still, like, what happens if like the thing flips over? I don't know.
Yeah, he's wearing a life jacket, which, by the way, looks way too big for him. Because I don't think there's a good life jacket for a 6-month-old.
Yeah, because 6 months old aren't supposed to water ski.
I mean, there's a chance he could flip, and all it takes is a little baby to take to breathe in a mouthful of water in his lungs, and he's dead.
Yeah, kid doesn't even know how to breathe. Kid just started learning how to breathe 6 months ago. You know what I mean? It's still a new skill for him.
Yeah.
Why don't you get down learning how to be a human being before you start learning skills like water skiing?
And it's a great point about Evel Knievel, right? As you mentioned, because when he would do things, they would always, you've seen these shows or whenever there's a stunt on TV or whatever, you've got EMTs standing by, that whole thing. They did the same thing for their 6-month-old.
Yeah. It's like that phrase.
Like, no, this is a bad idea, guys.
This is great. It's like that phrase, like, about people say, like, don't learn to run before you can crawl.
Yeah.
Like now it's don't learn to water ski before you can crawl. Like that's the new thing.
Now you compared this to another pop culture moment of outrage and child abuse. What was that?
When Michael Jackson dangled his baby out the bedroom window of that hotel. There it is.
Look at that. I mean, that's Just as these parents are trying to expose the 6-month-old to the world, get him exposed to things, maybe Michael Jackson was doing the same thing so that his baby wouldn't have a fear of heights. What do you think of that?
Yes, 100%. That's what it is. We should try to get them on the show.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah,
Michael Jackson's kids and just say, hey, or whatever. I don't know which one he dangled out the window. Be like, hey, what are you like now? Are you scared of heights now?
He's scared of heights. He's like, no, my dad tangled me.
Yeah, my dad dangled me out a window when I was an infant, and I'm fine now. Oh.
All right. All right, Zach, let's wrap up this segment. You go ahead and give a rating.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5.
5, yeah. I got 7 again, which gives us 12 here. All right, so we've got our 5, Zach. Number 5 is the demonic meltdown on the airplane. Really scary, but not super bullshitty. Number 4 is the Amazon ring. Number 3 is the the arrest of the ex-Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale, and really that was the BS onion of the week. There's a lot of layers to that. Number 4 is one we just discussed, the possible child abuse with the 6-month-old water skiing. And number 1, Zach, as you predicted, buddy, is the brain-eating amoeba in Texas. And why? Why, oh, why can't we keep our drinking water safe?
That is one big pile of shit.
Now, I want to thank all of you for. Oh, Jack, you got any final words on these stories?
Nope. I just watch your drinking water, people.
I got some right here, and some may have splashed up in my nose. So I'm hoping
great. Well, if you start having a sore necks and seizures and a coma, get checked out. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. If you're watching here on Facebook, please hit the like button and share this video. If you're watching on YouTube, we'd love it if you subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. And then, Zach, we've got 3 news websites. Zach, if they want to check out those, where can they go? What can they do? We got 3 new websites. We got informedamerican.com for everything political, current events, and news. We have wallstreetwirenews.com for everything financial and economy related. And then finally, we have realhealthynews.com for everything health.
And, of course, you can go to all 3 of those sites, share your email, and you can get great stories depending on the theme in your inbox. So we appreciate it if you would do that. Well, that's it, guys. For Zach, I'm Dave, and I've had enough of this BS.
Always do the opposite.